Warpugs, this was requested during shenanigans, and anytime something comes in, I like to try to get to it. Now, shenanigans, I do have a time, like a kind of a time limit on things. But when it comes down to it, I do like to get to things if I can. This is one of those that was requested. This is Fabius Bile getting judged by Slaanesh from BurialGoods. So, if anybody needs to be judged as Fabius, Fabius is one of those characters that has done horrible and reprehensible stuff. He never really turned. He was always screwed up in the head, okay? He was always messed up. It's just that when everybody decided to turn traitor around him, he was like, great, I can just stop hiding my science projects, which is really the most disturbing thing. All this was happening already, just nobody really paid attention to it. Everybody kind of avoided him like the plague. But the first captain thought he was having some very interesting ideas. Eidolon is the most irritating character of the Horus Heresy outside of Erebus. I'm so glad he died. In any case, we're going to jump into this. All of BurialGoods Links are going to be in the description down below. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Let's get into this. Let's go.
And who are you then?
Who are you?
Name yourself. I am the whetstone of desire. I am the asker of questions. I am the questor. I have never heard of you.
Yes, you have.
Of course you have. We have met many times.
Oh, boy.
And we will meet again before the last sun sets and the galaxy goes dark forevermore. I was with you in the temples of the lair, and I sat at your elbow as you raised up the first children of your genius from the nutrient soup.
Ooh, that's...
That you could not see me is no matter. I was there, and I saw you.
Stalker much?
Fabius felt a flicker of unease as the pale gaze pierced him through. The Chirurgeon twitched as if it shared his uncertainty. The questor's smile was like a scalpel grating on bone, and he clapped again. The world seemed to shake. One by one, the sensor feeds in Fabius's armor went dark.
That's
and
bad.
his confines became stifling. Quickly, he tore loose his helmet. The air felt still and heavy, not from the expected atmospheric pressure, but instead, what? It was as if the world had somehow stopped in its rotation, and everything else had clattered to a sudden, irresistible halt. Fabius looked around. The red of the world had faded to a rusty haze, and the members of the Phoenix Conclave were as statues. Even Eidolon stood frozen in mid-gloat, and Alcanex still poised to spring. Fabius turned, his breath straining in his lungs and billowing like fog from beneath chapped lips. Sweat beaded and turned to ice on his face.
This is
He
always
felt
bad sign.
overtaxed, as if he'd run for days. What have you done? He demanded. His words fell flat, the echoes stifled at conception. Some trick of witchery? Nothing so crude. Merely a moment, stretched to its utmost. The questor floated closer. To my perception, all time is thus. A collection of eternal moments, one leading into the next with infinite slowness. Why? This is the moment of testing.
Oh, boy.
The moment your hearts are weighed against the phoenix's feather. Are you not curious of the outcome? Not remotely. I know my worth, and I know my crimes. This court holds no jurisdiction over me.
Fabius genuinely didn't care. He genuinely had no care. He didn't have a single fuck to give.
Fabius straightened, trying to slow his heart rate. His muscles strained against unknown pressures. It was as if he stood at the bottom of a vast ocean, and the weight of thousands of fathoms pressed down on him. Its jurisdiction extends far beyond your ability to conceive, alchemist. You have committed crimes of such monstrous elegance that even the gods themselves grow uneasy.
That's a bad sign.
Look, see, they sit in judgment of you. A too long finger drifted upwards, and Fabius followed the gesture. He looked up, and something looked down. It was not a face, for a face was a thing of limits and angles, and what he saw had neither. It stretched as far as his eyes could see, as if it were one with the whole of the sky and the firmament above. Things that might have been eyes, or distant moons, or vast constellations of stars looked down at him, and a gash in the atmosphere twisted like a lover's smile. It studied him from an impossible distance, and he felt the sharp edge of its gaze cut through him, layer by layer.
That's always a bad sign.
There was pain in that gaze, and pleasure as well. Agony and ecstasy, inextricable and inseparable. With great effort, he tore his gaze away. "There is nothing there," he snarled, his teeth cracking against each other. His heart stuttered, suddenly losing their rhythm. He pounded at his chest as internal defibrillators sent a charge of electricity shrieking through him. The chirurgeon flooded his system with tranquilizers, and he tapped shakily at his vambrace. A secondary solution of mild stimulants joined the tranquilizers, stabilizing him.
There you go.
He ignored the urge to look up. There was nothing there. Nothing at all.
Nope.
"There is nothing there," he said again, tasting blood. "There are no gods, only cold stars and the void." The pressure increased. Something whispered deep within him. It scratched at the walls of his mind, trying to catch his attention. He ignored it. "No gods," he repeated. "Random confluence of celestial phenomena. Interdimensional disasters echoing outwards through our perceptions.
Okay.
I think, therefore I am. They do not, so they are not." He met the quester's blind gaze unflinchingly. "Gods are for the weak. I am not weak." The quester nodded expectantly. "No."
Fabius, that dude has some severe problems. He is undoubtedly one of the best characters in all of 40K. He is undoubtedly one of the best characters. When he first appeared, I was wondering how they were going to handle him being part of the Loyalist Emperor's Children. But they just, when he came out, it was just a thing. He's just like, "I'm just here tinkering, bro." And, oh my God, he was already breaking all the rules from the outset. He was breaking every rule they had from the outset with no care to give, with no repercussions in mind. He was just going for it. He was full sending from the moment he was introduced, and he has never stopped. And that's the best thing about him, is the fact that we can rely on Fabius Bile to do one thing, and that's full send all the time. He created a clone of Fulgrim. He's the only reason the Emperor's Children still exist in some ways. Fabius Bile is just one of those characters that you need to get introduced to. Once you start getting past the main factions, there's some characters you get introduced to. Trace the Infinite, Celestine, you got Malcarius, you have Caiaphas Cain, you have Eisenhorn, and you have Bile. Probably about 20 others there I could mention, but he is one of those characters that every 40K fan that has been with the hobby for a little bit, once you get past the introduction stage, he's somebody that you should learn about, because the amount of things he's been involved in is incredible. Warpugs, this was awesome. I love the voice acting in this. We need more stuff like this. I'm going to head out from here, and I will catch you guys next time. But just remember, Fabius has good times, and good times rhymes with war crimes, and he does it all the time. I'm out. I love stuff like this. Keep it coming, guys. Keep it coming, because I'm just sitting here in utter shock and in just pure amazement, because without you guys letting me know some of the stuff exists, I would have never found it. And if you didn't know about this beforehand, if you didn't know about burial goods before this, now you have something like this that continues, like, that just helps you learn. Like this right here, this, I know somebody's going to ask for it. Did I leave this off the entire time? Probably did. Somebody's going to ask for this. The interrogated by Death Guard Warlord. I know. And of course, Ancient Rivalry's Last Stand. Wolf Hugs, I'm heading out. I'll catch you guys next time. I'm in a good mood from this. Let's go.